It is 7:01. Today is July the 8th, 2026. I'd like to call the meeting of the Board of Commissioners to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Oravecz? Here. Commissioner Postufka?
Here.
Commissioner Lazzini?
Here.
Commissioner Sray? Here.
Please stand for a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 4, public comment on agenda items. Anyone? Item 5, correspondence. Library report. Ben, anything? All right, thank you. Dan, Southbridge EMS. Number 6, consent calendar items, approval of minutes. Does anyone have any questions on last month's minutes?
I do not.
Someone like to make a motion to approve last month's minutes?
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 6B, payment of bills.
Just a few things to point out. Most notably, our largest bill this month is to Russell Standard Corporation for about $224,000. This is a group that did kind of an alternative paving method called Cape Seal. We have been withholding that payment until final restoration is made. They sent us one bill for the entire work, basically, and there's some divots that need to be replaced, so we're holding on to it until they come back. They are supposed to come back next week, but just if you're looking at those bills, that is still being withheld. It's not actually hitting our bank account just yet. Everything else is pretty standard insurances and professional services.
All right, very good. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Any second? All in favor? Aye. Item C, financial reports.
A couple things to note, and most notably, Commissioner Oravecz asked about a Q2 financial update. We did enter Q3 just recently here, so it is a good time to review the second quarters. If you guys have an interest in doing that, we can either set a meeting to go about that or do that offline, however you'd prefer. Couple things to note just in this month's revenue and expenditure report. Last month we noted how the real estate tax had really ticked up. We received another 1.2 million in real estate tax. We're now up to 9.25 for the year, slightly above where we were last year. Just looking overall at revenues versus expenditures, we are now healthily into that surplus or stage where the revenues are in excess of the expenditures, which is good. Currently, we're at about 5.3 million, or I'm sorry, 5.98 million in the plus category. So, unless there's questions, that's a summary of the budget to date.
Thank you, John. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Jinx.
Jinx. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Bank account balances.
Not much to point out there. Capital Reserve has enough to support our programs for the year. Traffic impact fee is now over 2.3 million, which is healthy. That's about the most noteworthy. Any questions on any of the balances?
All right, thank you. Someone like to make a motion to approve the bank balances?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Liaison reports, public safety.
Nothing to report, Chuck.
All right. Becky, anything?
Nothing. Thank you.
All right. Finance and administration. I did attend the SHACOG meeting last month. There was nothing germane to South Fayette. There's not one for this month, so we won't have anything till August. Intergovernmental relations.
I also don't have any.
All right. And community economic development. Mark is absent. Department reports, manager's report.
Few things to note. Most importantly, we did begin construction on the activity center. Last month, we awarded bids to the lowest responsible bidders. We were able to get everyone under contract. Bonds are in place. Held a pre-construction meeting, and work began last week. And they're starting with the internal demo. Project meetings are every 2 weeks. Had the first one today. We do have construction manager on site, and seems to be going smoothly thus far. So when we get a little bit more traction, we'll have some guests, either the general or the construction management team, to come and give you guys an update. But so far, so good. We are also continuing with planning conceptual design for the Public Works facility. Have a meeting tomorrow with our architectural team, hoping to get that process kind of wrapped up here in the next 30 some days or so we can bring it to design development. Goal being to have a project ready to be bid either by year end or closely thereafter. I put a little blurb in my report about we had a kind of a June 30 deadline with
Rush,
some of
the
our
mad
projects.
scramble.
We had a mad scramble to issue building permits to projects that were reviewed under the 2018 code. Projects that were reviewed under that code and not permitted had to be permitted by the end of June. So projects like Bass Pro, Lafayette 180, Tractor Supply, ones that you had approved, we hadn't issued permits for yet, so there was kind of a rush for that. The good news is we were able to, get everyone squarely past the goal line. Chris and the solicitor really worked hard to get the developers agreements put together. And you'll notice when we get into the building department reports, we had a big spike in permit revenue for the month of June, which is a good thing. I mentioned the Bridge Street project. That's a project that is on the TIP, or the Transportation Improvement Program. It's going to be paid for as far as that replacement goes. We have advanced kind of a strategy for the interim bridge that is going to need to be placed, because the existing bridge won't make it until we're ready for the replacement. So Jason and his team have a good strategy together for us. Need a little bit of assistance in the form of a right-of-way. Chris, we gave you some info on that. Maybe we can talk offline about how we maybe move that forward in the coming weeks here, because we're getting close to just wanting to get that in place. And then lastly, last month we advertised a potential ordinance. This is an amendment to our zoning ordinance, basically most notably rezoning the paintball property to PED. That was presented to Planning Commission. Planning Commission heard it. We're asking them to make a recommendation to the board at their July meeting. Was sent to the county as well. We will have a public hearing in the month of August. Also, so not on our agenda tonight, but just wanting you guys to know that it is kind of moving along as planned. So that's all I have, unless there's questions.
Thank you very much. Assistant Manager's report, Pat?
Thank you, Commissioner. I changed the format of my report. The other one was getting a little bit busy because there was so much to add. So I just did a simple one rather than try to do the PowerPoint. So this is a little bit more in John's style as well. So I'm copying off of John. So I'm not going to go over my report, but you can ask me if you have any questions on anything. I tried to separate it into the operations versus the finance piece, legal and development, and property maintenance and blight.
Did you do it or co-pilot?
No, I did this, and I inputted into Copilot to see what it could change, and it did make a few suggestions for me. So.
I'm just jagging you.
Any questions?
I mean, I read it prior to coming to the meeting. I didn't have any questions.
Okay.
Thank you,
everyone.
Building permits.
Just to note, revenue for the month of June, $80,000 on the commercial side and $5,000 on the residential side. So, really strong month, brings our total to $156,000 for the year.
Very good. Thank you. Communications and community development.
Hello, Andrea Iglar, Director of Communications and Community Development. My monthly and quarterly report is on the agenda, and I'd be happy to answer any questions before I cede the rest of my time to the intern who will be updating you this evening.
Oh, cede your time.
Okay.
Come on up, intern.
I cede my time.
As recognized.
Good evening, everybody. Hope Franzek. I am the Communications and Digital Accessibility intern for the Township of South Fayette, working directly with Andrea for the summer. My internship is sponsored by the Local Government Academy. It's a Pittsburgh-based nonprofit. For this summer, through their program, there are 19 interns across 4 different counties: Allegheny, Washington, Westmoreland, and there's another intern out in the city of Johnstown, which I believe is Cambria County. My main project as an intern for South Fayette is updating our website and some documents we have on there. There were some changes made to some federal regulations regarding the accessibility of these documents. So they have to be more compatible with tools like screen readers and translating software and things like that. So I've been screening the website, cataloging different documents we have available to the public, different forms that are used to apply for or access government programs. I have all of my notes organized in a spreadsheet. I'd say right now I've cataloged somewhere between 400 and 500 different documents that will need to be archived, unpublished, updated, converted into a different format. So that's my main project. I'm also supporting Andrea in all of her different responsibilities that she has for the township. So I've written 5 different pieces for the summer edition of the South Fayette Connect magazine, which should come out next week. So some different things with a public works column as well as some business spotlights. We've visited a couple different businesses that have opened recently in South Fayette. We've also attended some different business events for the community outreach portion of Andrea's position. So the Piazza Palooza just down the hill a couple weeks ago, as well as the Chamber of Commerce event with the Southwest Chamber of Commerce. I've also helped with some different township events. So we had our concert in the park a couple weeks ago, and we have Touch a Truck coming up this weekend. So doing some different social media promotion, as well as just logistical support for those events, and other miscellaneous tasks like research projects and things as assigned by Andrea. Does anyone have any questions?
I do not. Thank you. Welcome. You having a good time? Learning anything?
Great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Engineers report?
Good evening, Board. Our report is part of the agenda. It's dated July the 1st. I'll go through some of the items. You may have noticed throughout the township that the paving program did in fact start. Morgan Excavating is the mill and pave contractor this year, and they're about halfway through the contract already. They started milling and paving on Hickory Grade Road this week. They should be out of here with the bulk of the work in probably about the next 3 weeks. So we're inspecting that contract, as well as helping Dan oversee the rejuvenation contract, which is going to start in a few weeks. And as John mentioned, the corrective items on the Cape Seal program. Aside from that, a number of projects under construction from the planning aspect. We assisted township staff and the solicitor with a number of developers agreements items in the last month. This month on planning, we actually don't have any development items. The only item on this month's planning commission is the township ordinance revision. If anyone has any questions, I could go deeper.
I do not.
I'm good.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Rodger, Fire Service Coordinator.
Good evening. Rodger, Ricciuti, Fire Services Coordinator. This month, there were 53 responses by the fire department in the township. As far as activity from the coordinator, we went through Apex Newberry along with the South Fayette Fire Department and had a tour of it, the features, fire safety equipment and such, and we identified several shortcomings that they're going to address. Been meeting every 2 weeks with the school district in regards to 3 projects: the bus garage, the elementary project, and the intermediate school addition, and addressing any concerns they have with fire safety. Met with them today. They're making good progress. The water supply to the hydrants on the construction site has been restored, so it's a little better than it was last 2 weeks. Speaking of hydrants, we're correcting some errors in the hydrant database that the fire departments use. We're finding some that are either misplaced or just inaccurate. Also worked with the developer for Stonegate on hydrant placement, along with Chief Supan of Oak Ridge. The municipality was a cooling center during last week's heat wave, and we updated the information on the 211 website that lists all the cooling centers in the township, because it's still listed 515. I think it's a little warm down there right now.
Did anyone take advantage of that? Did anyone come
I
up?
don't recall anyone specifically coming up for that reason. Yeah.
Just curious.
Did you see anyone?
worked with the school district's vendor. One of the requirements in the fire code is communications capability for public safety in buildings. And they have to do a study to determine whether or not police, fire, EMS radios will work with that vendor to get his study done for the intermediate school. And also got a request for information on damages in the township from the windstorm on the 11th, and checked with Dan, and we had surprisingly none, no real problems. Coming up, we had a request for, in 2 weeks, Children's Hospital would like a fire inspection, so Chief Lazzini and I are going to walk through their facility. They are working on outfitting the 4th floor, which up to this point has been vacant. They're going to build it out now, and they invited us to come take a look at what they're doing and give them a little fire inspection of the building to see where they're at.
Right.
That's all I have.
Any questions? Thank you, Rodger. Parks and Rec?
Good evening. An update for the multi-purpose fields is they are moving along on schedule with hopefully completion by the end of August. For the main trail through Fairview, which is the one from the Lafayette Pavilion all the way to the splash pad, that's going to go out to bid here, I believe, next week through August, and we have to go along with PennDOT's schedule for that. So the goal is to kind of have it awarded by the end of the year with construction starting in early spring. Same thing with the nature trails. Moving on to on the financials, I just want to bring to your attention. I didn't do a report last month, so I was pulling numbers from last month and this month, and we are pretty much at our total revenue for what we brought in last year. So last year we brought in $215,000 in revenue. This year in July we're at $213,000. So that was really surprised me. I think the factors that play into it is the Mayview Pavilion. We have the 3 rentals a day, so we're bringing in more revenue there. And our summer playground camp, we added morning and after camp care, which parents are seeming to really love it. And just some of our programs this summer have just been super popular. So I'm really excited to see those numbers for attendance of programs and just revenue. We had our I Can Bike camp last week or 2 weeks ago. Big success as always. Summer playground camp is going well. For the revenue for camp, we are already over $10,000 of what we brought in last year for camp. And like I said, I think it has to do with that summer playground camp and more attendance. I think the splash pad draws higher attendance on those days that we're in Fairview Park. We had the summer kickoff concert, and we have Touch a Truck coming up this Sunday, and then Community Day, which was a typo on it, sorry, is August 22nd, not August 2nd. If there's any questions. I just also want to say we had Megan start back beginning of June, and she's doing phenomenal. She handled the fireworks herself because I had a family reunion, and she did wonderful. Got lots of compliments. She's super organized, and she's a great addition to the team. So. Yeah. Any questions?
I do not have any questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Thanks, Paula.
Chief?
Good evening, John Phoennik, Chief of Police. We had a little bit of a setback with our background for the hire that we were looking to put on in July. We were about 3/4 of the way through. He accepted another job offer. So we had to start from scratch with somebody else. So we've moved it back. Our timeline is probably later in August, beginning of September. By the time we get done with this one. So,
can you go right off that old list, or do you have to start a whole new
it's a
list?
certified list that's good until next May.
Okay, good.
So we just go down the line on it. So again, it was unfortunate. He would have been a good candidate, but he took another job. So, but we'll move on.
Stuff happens, right?
Yeah, right. In June, we had 461 calls for service, and we made 220 traffic stops in the month of June. We had no major incidents at the 4th of July fireworks event. That's all I have. If there's any questions.
I do not.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Danny? Good evening.
Hey, Dave.
Okay. Waiting for the next slide to come on. Keep going.
You don't use your phone like Paula? I didn't work on a flip phone.
I couldn't see it. Here's our mechanic report for the month. They were obviously pretty busy. A lot of truck inspections and police repairs. A lot of police repairs.
Rather fix them than crash them, right?
We start working on the electric kiosks for the Mayview ball fields. We've actually fabbed them. We have an excellent welder that we just hired, our newest hire. He's an excellent welder, and he's been helping us with that. And we just had to purchase new tires for our side cutter, which are a lot more roadworthy than the old ones we had. They should last a lot longer, hopefully. Okay. Our new sign guy's been busy. He's been taking care of all the one calls and putting new signs up and things and that. So there's a couple signs he put up there, a couple children's signs. Those are we've been cutting the right of ways for the roads, and there's pretty much all the roads we've been cutting and taking care of the weeds around the guide rails and stuff like that. So that's an everyday job for us out there cutting the weeds. We've been doing base repair. I believe that is Alpine Road. We did like 4 or 5 spots on Alpine and repaired the base and put new asphalt in. We started in Lakemont, and we started on Hickory Grade Road too for the same things. So we did have one tree come down recently. This is the biggest one we had come down. Yeah, a couple of limbs come down too, but that was nothing major. That was just like a week or so ago. We've been working on a storm sewers for our paving program. We go ahead and do the repair the storm water inlets before they pave. This is Melrose Court. We redid a few on there and take care of that. So, Park Sky. This is our famous dumpster pads we're working on. Obviously, they're not finished yet. But, also, we were able to get all the gas line, the water line, the sewer line installed down at the Mayview site. So actually, they hooked the water up yesterday. We got water down there now. And we have sewers, and they're coming to get the gas line too in a couple of days. So we're getting ready for winter.
There you go.
Parks guy, they've been keeping up with the grass, cutting grass. We've been assisting Paula with the fireworks and splash pad. The splash pad incidences.
Cleaning it. Splash pad cleanup. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, leave it at that. So, I don't know what.
Is that it?
I don't know. Is there any more slides?
No, I do have a quick question because I very, very rarely ever go all the way down that way. The work that you guys were doing on the S bend on Hickory Grade with the widening that road, is that all complete?
They paved that. They put the base on it today.
Okay.
So they'll come back and put the top on. I believe we have to go back and grade the edges a little bit on that one side. So it's coming along pretty good.
Put like the chevrons and stuff. I'd be curious to know how we'll know if it was effective on maybe trying to slow some stuff down or.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We have to relocate a telephone pole as well.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
They should be really good after we get done, I think. They'll be able to see going around that bend.
Yeah.
So they should be a lot safer.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Any questions?
No questions.
Okay.
Request tracker?
The report looks a little different this month. There's not flooded with trash and recycling complaints, so that's good. Other than that, although I know that we had been dealing with them last month or so, feels like it's getting a little better, but it's still somewhat of an issue for everyone. But unless there's questions, that's really the takeaway from the request tracker.
Nope. I'm good. All right, thank you. Item 9, any old or unfinished business? Nothing. 10, new business. Item 10A, discuss and consider S04-2026 Weinman Consolidation Plan, preliminary and final minor subdivision application, 5088 Toms Run Road, zoned R2.
Yes, so this is for the joining of two parcels side by side along Tom's Run, as you mentioned. This is a section of Tom's Run Road by the Collier border that was recently remedied as far as the township line goes. We reviewed the plan, issued a letter dated July the 6th. The applicant and their consultants responded to our comment letter. They addressed all of our items, revised the plan, and there are no outstanding items on our end. We would recommend approval.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item B, discuss and consider reduction of bond for Apex Newberry for the reduction for the south phase in the amount of $1,028,580.49, leaving a balance of $0.
So we did field verify the request for reduction here, and we did supply a letter and documentation to the township and to the developer that we do recommend a reduction in a slightly lesser amount than what they had requested. Our recommendation is for an amount of $996,905.45, which would leave a balance of $31,675.03.
Okay, so let me get that number correct. 996,905.45?
Correct.
Does that have anything to do with some of the stuff that Rodger was mentioning?
You know what, they had anticipated being a little further along towards completion on some of the items. They need to finish some plantings in some areas. There's a section of guide rail missing. There are a couple of hydrants that need remedied. So pretty much all of those items.
All right, let me consult with my lawyer here. So do I have to amend this or?
Yeah. We would need, well, we can just amend it to be in conjunction with the recommendation of the.
All right, so you mean to reread this with that number instead of that number? All right. Any questions?
Amend it.
All right. So
The first
item,
amend.
yeah, so we're going to make an amendment to item B. The amendment would read, discuss and consider a reduction of bond for the Apex Newberry for the reduction for the south phase in the amount of $996,905.45, leaving a balance of
$31,675.03.
All right. Any questions on that? All right. So can I have a motion to amend?
I'll make the motion to amend.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, I would like to make read this for approval. Discuss and consider a reduction of bond for Apex Newberry for the reduction of the south phase in the amount of $996,905.45, leaving a balance of $31,675.03.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is that good?
Excellent.
All right. Getting better at this after 3 years, right? Item C, discuss and consider a reduction of bond for Cigars International in the amount of $418,654.03, leaving a balance of $0.
Unfortunately, we're going to ask you to go through a similar exercise.
It's called practice. All right, let me write these numbers down.
Our recommended amount would be $399,015.98, which would leave a balance of $19,638.05. And similar situation, there were a couple corrective items. There's some pavement that needs remedied, so we did want to withhold a small amount there.
All right. So I'm going to read this to make a motion to amend item C. Discuss and consider amending the reduction of bond for Cigars International in the amount of $399,015.98, leaving a balance of $19,638.05. Correct.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Now, discuss and consider a reduction of the bond for Cigars International in the amount of $399,015.98, leaving a balance of $19,638.05. Does anyone have a motion to approve?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Mr. President, you can cheat by saying
That motion carries.
as amended.
I like to read it. I got to practice, Pat. Thank you. Item D, discuss and consider the second pay app to Field Turf Inc. for the Fairview multipurpose fields, the amount of $70,162.62, leaving a balance of $2,399,321.69. You gonna do me? Okay.
I
All right,
went there.
three
That
times
number's
in a
good.
row.
Yes.
All right. Anyone have any questions on that?
No, good.
Would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item E, discuss and consider a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-11 authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to the Greenways, Trails and Recreation Program grant in the amount of $215,000 for the Sturgeon Park Playground. So this is just to submit a grant.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Becky, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. That motion carries. Item F, discuss and consider a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-12, authorizing the Township Manager to submit a grant application to the DCED Multimodal Transportation Fund Program grant in the amount of $150,000 for the Panhandle Trail Paving Project Phase 2. Same routine, just a grant.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, discuss and consider a motion to advertise for the parks laborer position. We want to take this under advisement and table this into executive session?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have to vote to table it, or we can just table it? All right, that motion's tabled.
Table.
Solicitors report, anything, Chris?
I have nothing at this time.
Awesome. Public comment? Is there any public comment? Anything for board discussion? Item 14, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make them.
Second.
I'll make the motion. She said.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming.